Okay, you guys, we're going to get started here with our Stepping Up workshop. Welcome. Glad you are here. And for those of you that are watching it live, welcome. For those of you that are watching it at a later time, we're so excited that you would invest in your business and to be excited to see what else is out there for you. You know, you've joined, you're making money, you're getting your Tupperware business going, and I think that's really incredible. I will tell you guys, I'm at the studio here in Spring, Texas. So if a customer walks in, Abby will entertain you until I get back. I don't think she dances, but I think she'll share some good tips with you. So Abby, you're going to be in the hot seat if a customer comes in. And let me just start by saying, what was the whole reason that you came on today? You know, what were you thinking? What do I, why am I going on? You know, you're going to invest the time. So what was it? And I ask you to just really think about, what it was that said to you, come to this call or listen to this recording, because then something will come from it. And for me, it's because you deserve more. You really do deserve more from Tupperware. And we know that in Tupperware, you already make your 25% retained commission. And this is, for example, when you sell a piece of Tupperware, let's say you sell $100, you're going to retain 25% of that. And what that means is when you buy it from Tupperware, you're going to pay wholesale prices. So we call that a retained profit, where you hold on to your 25%. You only pay Tupperware wholesale, so you're making that as a commission. You also, as a consultant, make, starting at a 10% bonus, or 5% bonus up to 10% in every sales month when you decide for that. Those are things you're going to make whether you're a consultant, manager, executive manager, or a director. That never changes. So that is the first thing. But then we think about, what's another reason that you came on to this? I'll call it a call. It's a recording. What's another reason you came on? Well, because you got to be ready, right? And the timing may be now, but then again, it might be 3 months from now when you go, okay, I'm ready. I want to move up. And so what is the first step of stepping up? It's being ready. It's being ready to say, I'm ready. And that is up here. So I want you to look at this picture and tell me what you think. Do these people look like they're ready to jump off a cliff? Now, don't relate that to your Tupperware business. You're not jumping off a cliff with your Tupperware business. But what I love about this picture is that they all look like they're ready. In fact, that guy out front looks like, I think he's done that before, right? And so sometimes we have people that join us in Tupperware that was a manager before, or perhaps a director before. Life happens, right? And you fall out. The good news is you don't get fired, right? You can step back up. And so whatever it is, whether you've been a manager before or tonight you just think, okay, I'm ready to go again. That is what we're excited about. We're excited that you're curious for more in your Tupperware business. So really being ready is going out on that ledge. And I'll tell you what, seeing this bungee jumper, and I don't know if you've ever bungee jumped. I have not, but I would probably do it, I think. When you think about this bungee jumper, he's ready to go, right? He is number 78. He's got his equipment on. He's on the jump off ledge. And I'll also tell you that when not only do you have to be ready to go in this business, but you have to be willing to go up and down. Up and down. Nobody stays on top forever because I think my audience today is women. So forgive me if we have some men listening, but with our audience being women, life happens, right? Our family dynamics change, our work changes, our volunteer schedule changes, our grandchildren, our cousins, aunts, whatever we're taking care of and working with, things change and our business can change, and never let that affect you. Just like that bungee jumper, when he goes out and he's going to go ding, 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 it's part of the ride. It's all part of the ride. So what is the most important thing that you're looking for from Tupperware? Have you sat and thought, what do I want from my Tupperware business? What is it that I want to gain? And so these are just a few things that I've jotted down. And tonight, I would tell you, keep a piece of paper near you as I'm talking, write down your ahas, your questions, things like that. and maybe even what it is that you want more in life. Is it more time with your family? Um, to that, let me say, if somebody, and I'll just use our mothers as an example, if your mom is having a birthday and you said, "Hey, mom, what do you want for your birthday?" You know what your mom's most likely will say? "I just want time with you." There comes a point in life where we realize the most valuable thing is our friendships and our time with people. And so this opportunity can give you things like more time with those important people in our life. Some people are so stuck in these jobs, right? Those jobs that they have, and they're getting by. They're missing out on the most important parts of their families' lives, whether it was games or births or dance recitals or graduations and things like that. That is something that a lot of people come to the table saying, "I just want more. I want more." It might even be more confidence. You might be somebody that you're listening to this and you're like, "You know what? I got my family down. I got all the other things. I want confidence. I've lacked that." And I want you just to think about, what kind of leader would you be? Because in this business, you can choose. You're not appointed. You're not told what kind of leader to be. You can choose. And none of us, like, we all have thumbs and they kind of look the same from far away, but when we get really close, they're all different, right? They're all different. And that's our style of leadership as well. Some of you may even say, "I've come because I want more adventure. I want more travel." And I always laugh and say this, maybe the kids are grown and you're at a point in your life, you're like, "I just want to travel." But then again, you might say, "My kids are at home and I want to travel." You want to get away from them. Travel doesn't mean you're an empty nester or you have children, don't have children. Travel just means the adventure of it, seeing different places and enjoying God's beautiful earth that He's given us, seeing different parts of it. So we've actually, I remember having somebody come into our business that never had a honeymoon. And she joined Tupperware and she said, "You know what? We never had a honeymoon. And I want to earn a trip for my husband and I." And they had been married quite some time. It might even be freedom. Tonight, as you listen to this and you're thinking, "You know what I want is freedom. I am tired of being told when to start, when to take my lunch break, when I'm getting a raise, when I'm getting off, all those different things." And I have to say, for ladies that are listening, I truly believe, for me and my husband, Bill, that is what has kept us in Tupperware. It's the freedom. I am not a box person, and I encourage you not to be in a box. That if you're somebody that has joined Tupperware and you love to exercise, in fact, we were talking about that before we started our recording. If you like to exercise, don't stop that just because you're in Tupperware. If you were volunteering and helping out or teaching a Sunday school class or taking care of a family or something like that, don't let that change, because Tupperware is going to give you the freedom to be able to do that and so much more. So it might be that you just want to set your own hours. And I can tell you, after my 28 plus years of being in Tupperware, the flexibility of the freedom is what's given me the greatest joy of our Tupperware business, being able to make what I decide I want to make, what I feel I'm worth, right? And also the hours that I choose that I want to work. And we have seen this with COVID. Now that COVID hit us here in the United States, we have seen so many people that have changed their working from driving into the office and being in an office all day to working from home and going, "I like this." We have that opportunity as Tupperware, I'll say ladies, again, our Tupperware ladies, to work from our palace, which is our home. And how beautiful is that, that we have that opportunity. So I just really encourage you, if it's something like freedom with setting your own schedules or setting the income levels, you're going to enjoy that from Tupperware. As far as money, we think about, I need money, and you're thinking, I want it, I need it because I need it for bills. Imagine beyond the bills. Tupperware can give you that. You could buy your first home with your Tupperware money. You could get out of debt. I have a director that she's not been a director very long, and every couple months she goes, I paid off another one of our credit cards. How exciting is that Tupperware can afford you that? And it might even be, when you think about money, is I encourage you, it might not even be the money for your family, but what you could give. I also have a director that joined Tupperware and said, I want to sell Tupperware, and I want to make more money because I want to be able to stroke a check anytime somebody's going on a mission trip. I want to be able to not think twice and give to that. So again, the money is part of our Tupperware careers. So I want to ask you to write on your little paper tonight, if money and time and responsibilities were no object, what would your life look like? What would it look like? How would you be living with that? So I'm going to show you our journey in Tupperware, and I want you to help you think about where you are today and prepare you for the next step. I would also encourage you to take a picture of this screen at some point, because these gears, the gears of growth that I've listed here, are going to be very important to your journey. So you can relate it to a car or a motorcycle. Have you ever been out on I-10 or 290 and you're just driving along, you're going the speed limit, and then all of a sudden you hear boom, boom, like somebody going past you, and you think, wait a minute, I'm going the speed limit, and look at them. And that is called full throttle. So to get to that fifth gear, that full throttle, what I will tell you is that it's just an amazing thing that we have to go from first gear, second gear, third gear, all the way up. So let's talk about each of these gears, because like I said, in order to get to the next gear, you have to have the others behind. So we're going to start in first gear. First gear is desire. So desire. So when we talk about that, I want you to think about your desire to have more in this business. What would your life look like with more? What would your family look like with more in it from your Tupperware business? If you're married, your spouse, what would your house look like? Your travel schedule, all of that comes back to the motivation that you have inside. We do not have a boss in Tupperware. And to some people, that's a good thing. And to some people, they're like, oh, I can't do that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. In Tupperware, you don't have anybody that's going to tell you what you have to do. This is all by choice. You have to be self-motivated. And I have a director that says to me, when we talk about this, my husband could never do this, because he tells me I need to be told when to go to work, when to come off of work, how much I'm going to make. You see, to be a leader in Tupperware, you have to be a self-starter. You have to. And the only way that you're going to be that self-starter, most likely, is by having and knowing your desire. That is your alarm clock every day. That's what gets you up to work your Tupperware business. Because if not, people will get up and they'll think 100 things to do instead of working their Tupperware business. They'll straighten every junk drawer in their house. They'll do every load of laundry. They'll do everything they can think of before they'll go back and make those phone calls or text people to get more parties in their day book. And that's because they lack the motivation that comes from within. I like to call this fire in your belly. Okay, fire in your belly. So when we think about fire in your belly, I think about when a woman makes up her mind, you either like get on board or get out of her way, because you're going to get hurt. And that is because, it's that desire that is so strong in us. So I want you to think about and be specific to yourself of what is your desires in your Tupperware business. Be clear about it. All right, because you cannot go to your second gear ever. And I mean, you could go, but you're going to fall back out unless you really, truly know your desire and your inner motivation. So let's change gears and go to our second gear. So I am changing gears, brum, brum. I keep saying I'm going to have some music play here, brum, brum. But let's go to number two. And number two, your second gear is actually coming up with growth. The growth that it takes, flipping that switch that you have to be able to say, you know what, I got to work. And work is a 4-letter word that's not bad, ladies. Work is not a 4-letter word that we shouldn't be saying. Work is good. God has given you an ability and he wants you to use it. Don't waste it. And so many of you that you, when you think about growth and you think of flipping that switch, is just talking with people. You know, we're in a relationship business, and having relationships with people helps us date more Tupperware parties and sell more Tupperware. So growth is, you got to do more. And I would jot that down today. I have not figured out in 28 and a half years how to do more, or excuse me, how to make more and do less. Now, if you figure it out, tell me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to know, because I want to enjoy the fruit of what God's given me, my abilities, and realize that I got to get off the couch, right? I got to get up and do more. And that takes us right into that third gear. It's your choice to make it happen. It's your choice to make it happen. Putting in behaviors that work. Working on your party lineup, which is going to be the critical thing to you every day in your Tupperware business. In order to have more money, trips, vehicles, title, any of that, you have to have more Tupperware business personally. And so it's going to be constant that you work on your own Tupperware business. So putting those action behaviors into your routine every day. I also want to tell you that this is something I've helped many women over my 28 plus years do. And I'll just talk about one of those ladies today. Her name is Eva. And you guys, when I started my Tupperware business 28 plus years ago, I started because my husband and I were newly married, almost 5 years. And Bill had been working as a personnel director in many different places. He had been in that field for 20 years. So if you know what personnel directors do, they hire, they fire, they fight unions, they add unions. It's all of that kind of stuff, something I could never do. But I will tell you this, Bill was working and pretty much in his career when one week he had a corporate raise. Now that was pretty exciting because he came home and said, I got a raise, and it went across the board. But do you know the following week, Bill got corporately laid off? So this is 28 years ago, guys. I will never forget that feeling, that nerve, that jiggle that went down my spine when Bill said to me, I lost my job today, because they did a corporate layoff. Instead of having a personal director in every hospital, they chose to have just one overseeing all the hospitals. So to us, that verbiage is very, we're used to that today. But years ago, it wasn't like that, right? So when I started my Tupperware business, it was because Bill had lost his job. He was looking for a new job, and I was like, what can I do? And I had remembered that I had been to a Tupperware party. I had remembered the Tupperware lady saying you could make money selling Tupperware. And so I decided I would give that lady a call. And so I called her up and I said, you know what, this is Judy, and I want to sell Tupperware. And by the way, if you bug me, I'm going to quit. And I don't say that meanly, and I surely didn't that day, but here's what I had heard. Many horror stories in direct selling. You have to buy so much, you have to do so much, you have to go so much, you have to blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Just like I told you what has kept me in Tupperware, that freedom, that flexibility, that's why I told Lois, don't ever put me in a box. Don't tell me I have to do something or I have to buy something. And so that's how I started my business, already kind of kicking and screaming of a box. But that is because I knew I was strong enough personality that I didn't need somebody to tell me what to do, that if it needed to be done, it would come from within me. And so Lois dropped off my opportunity kit, and she quit the business for personal reasons, not because of me, but she quit the business. And I was a couple hundred miles away from my upline, like you guys are from me. And this was before the age of Facebook and social media and Zoom and all that stuff, right? And what happened was I had to start out myself. And that's where I learned early on in this business. We can't judge a book by its cover. I lived in West Virginia. Okay. We had moved to West Virginia. We were in Morgantown, which has more trees than people. And I was young. I was a young mom with a little baby crawling around the house that was 9 months old. And yet I started my Tupperware business and within 5 months became #1 in the nation. And I lived in a very rural area, right? And so people, like, all of a sudden we go, wait a minute, that doesn't normally happen. And it's because of what's inside of you. Your choice to act in this business, your choice to put action instead of thinking. And this is where my girlfriend Eva said to me, you know what, Judy, I do everything you tell me to do. I am doing your demonstration. I do your dating. I do this, I do that. And so I went and visited Eva. And I thought, I owe it to her to help her. She was a friend. And so I went down to Eva's, and I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Within an hour of being at Eva's house, you know what I realized? Eva just thought about her Tupperware business. She wasn't working. Her office was beautiful. Her labels were fantastic. Everything was perfect. Everything. But you know what? That's not the mess of success. That doesn't put money in the checkbook. What puts money in the checkbook are those parties in your date book. If your labels are a little crooked, so be it. But that doesn't put money in the checkbook. So I said to Eva that day, I said, Eva, do you know what the Nike commercial, what they always say? And she said, just do it. And I go, yeah, let's print for you. And so we went in and we went to the Nike. I mean, this is a good 27, 28 years ago. I said, let's go to Nike. And we printed off the just do it swish. And I said, Eva, you need to stop thinking and start working. Instead of thinking how you were going to make everything so wonderful and great and how you were going to say this and that and write this or that, you need to do it. Because that's what makes a difference in our business. Choosing to act, ladies, is vital for your Tupperware business. You gotta get yourself to work. You've got to get up off that couch, and you have to have parties in your date book. Today, parties look a little different. We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes, but you have to, in third gear, choose to act. Let's go to fourth gear, vroom, vroom. So in fourth gear it's probably one of my favorites, I must say, because it's about making mistakes. And when we think about that, so many of you are perfectionists. Even today, as the little bit that I know about y'all, it's that you are wanting to make sure everything's just right. But you know what's going to happen? You are going to make mistakes. And I call that failing forward. That is one of the best things you can do in Tupperware. Date parties that never hold, sign up recruits that never sell, have a party that you get no datings from. All of that is failing forward. It's in your eyes, oh, I made a mistake. I didn't get this new recruit off and started. I'll tell you, that is the best way to grow in Tupperware, because you'll learn from your mistakes. I can tell you about mine all day, but that's not going to help you. It's you making your own. So fourth gear is having the no fear and learn attitude, realizing that you are going to make mistakes. You are, and for 72 years, people have made mistakes, but they failed forwards. You are not the very first person to ever work this Tupperware business. You're not the first person that had parties that didn't hold or low attendance, right? So it is failing forward, a vital part of your Tupperware business. So we like to look at, our training as Take Me by the Hand training. People have made these mistakes and people have realized how to fix them. And we have a lot of training at your fingertips that you can take advantage of if you're open to it. And you always have to be willing to be open to it for it to sink in and work. All right. Making mistakes is a good thing. So let's get to fifth gear. We are now that motorcycle that just went boom past you on 290 or I-10, and that is called full throttle. And when you're at full throttle, oh my gosh, you don't look back. Ultimately, this is where you're going to want to have your Tupperware business, right? And it's a mindset and the no fears. You don't care if you're messing up because you're getting on the job training. You're earning while you're learning. And I want to give you kind of the tale of two directors with this. My first director, her name is Melissa, that I'm going to talk about today. And Melissa, she's one of our newest directors. She lives in a very rural area, and she has been in Tupperware for a good maybe 8 years or so, off and on. She's come in and built stuff and had family issues and fallen, and then build up and family issues and personal issues and blah, 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 and fallen. But about a year and a half ago, Melissa was in the business when she realized, I can't do face-to-face parties anymore. My kids, my family, it just doesn't work out. And Melissa went into Facebook parties and started doing Facebook parties. And as she built that, you guys know her numbers. She is now tops in Bravo. She's an amazing personal seller. And everything she does is not only a Facebook party, it's done on her phone. She doesn't even use a computer. She uses her phone. So she's at full throttle. Well, that is until the hurricane, right, Abby? She's now displaced and her family, she's in another location, but that's Melissa. She's at full throttle. She's mastered her Facebook parties. And then I want to talk to you about the tale of another director, Cindy. And Cindy she's been in Tupperware 10 years. She used to clean houses. She is not embarrassed by that. She will tell you it's something she loved doing. And you know why? She's a worker. She doesn't mind working. That's what that tells me, because when you're cleaning houses, that's work. But what happened was Cindy came in and realized the money she could make, the friends she could meet, and the relationships she could develop, that she mastered each of these 5 gears. And now Cindy today has such control of her schedule. She parties hard and she plays hard. Married with children, married to the love of her life, who she wants to spend every waking moment with, right, Abby? Sean. And what she is at when it comes to full throttle is that she realizes she can be so in charge of this business because it's her business. So ladies, you can't get to that 5th gear without knowing your desire, applying that growth mindset, working, getting off the couch, stop thinking about your business and doing those things, because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to fail forward until you get to full throttle. And that's exactly where you want to be, is that full throttle. So when we look at this picture of my little goldfish leaping, I don't know what you think about, but I'm going to tell you why I put this in my training. This goldfish to me is stepping out of fears. He knows his life in that smaller bowl is going to be very contained and confined. He sees that bigger bowl. He knows he can make it, right? It might be a little doubt, but he knows he can make it. Life in a big fish bowl is so much better, right? So my wish for you guys is for you to be great in Tupperware. Know where you're jumping. Our business has been around for 72 years. 72. You're not the first one to ever step up to manager or get back into manager or get back to being a star manager or get back to being a director. Whatever your situation is, you're not the first person. It's okay, but have the confidence that the business is stable enough. It's in there. It's nice, tight weave, that you're in good hands. Let me tell you another little funny story about when I was new in Tupperware. So I remember we were driving and we were going to pick up our product because we used to have to do that. And I remember seeing a Tupperware car, okay, like one of those company cars. And I pointed out to my family and I said, see that? And it was a van. So don't laugh too hard, but it was a van. And I said, see that van? That's the one they give at Tupperware. And my family laughed and said, what do you think? You're going to get one of those? And I quickly said, oh, no. I was just saying, that's the car they give at Tupperware. But I'm going to tell you what, that was the day inside me. I thought, you're darn right, I'm going to get one of those. But I didn't have enough confidence to say it out loud. But knowing that I can do whatever I want in this business, and I say that to you today. Don't let your family or your friends say, oh, you can't do that. You can't get a car. You can't make $100,000. You can do whatever you decide you want to do, because it's your business. So get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone and stop thinking about your Tupperware business and start doing. This is critical, ladies. And this may be an aha to you today, that you're a thinker and that you're a perfectionist. You got to stop that. You got to get out there and do. And I can tell you, just from our Monday mornings, we do a leadership call every Monday morning. And, you know, for Tuesday night, your managers put together. I know I have managers that will never train on Tuesday night. And I say to them, this is part of growing big. This is part of getting out and having confidence. Cindy Watford didn't start with all that confidence she exudes today, right? She started by biting her lip and saying the wrong things, but you fail forward. You stop thinking about your Tupperware business and you start doing, and that's going to build your confidence. So I ask you, what is life like living on your terms? Not your family's, not your surroundings, not what you were told it should be, because there's never, ever been a better, ever time in Tupperware to join and build. And you guys may be aware of this, but I, would be mad at myself if I didn't tell you. We have a mess of success right now in Tupperware. You might know that from shipping and customer care. With COVID hit and everything's changed. What happened for Tupperware is our business exploded. We are up over 300% over last year. If you've ever had a business or worked in a business where you understood numbers, that's incredible. I mean, typically to earn a trip in Tupperware, they want you to grow 8%, 10%, 12% on a stretch growth. We are up 300% over last year. And I'm not talking our company Bravo. I'm talking the United States. The United States and Canada, 300%. There has never been a time like this where our product is in such demand, where not our product, but our opportunity has been in such demand. Do you know we've had over 100 people, 100,000 people that have joined Tupperware this year in North America. Why? Because they need money. They're working from home. They know that they have to make all these meals. We're grocery shopping less and at the same time more because we're making less trips to it. They join because they needed money, and they needed money fast and on a weekly basis. And so what did Tupperware do when COVID hit? We switched the way we paid, because we used to pay on a monthly and we switched it to weekly. Tupperware realized people are joining us because they need money and they need it now. The demand for our products never has slowed up. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is where I will say to you guys, ride that wave. I say this on Monday to our leaders. Think about the surfer dude out there and how they're paddling. I've never surfed, but I've watched it, right? They're paddling and they're waiting for that wave. And when they see that big wave coming, they stand on it, right? And they ride that wave in. That's where we're at in our Tupperware business. You guys, that big wave is coming in. It is your turn. Even if you try a little bit, you're going to explode because the wave is so big right now because of COVID. Take advantage of that and enjoy that. Do you know we've promoted over 1,000 new directors since COVID hit? 1,000. That's a ton of new directors, right? And so what a great problem to have now, which is what we have in shipping. People say, why do we have such a problem in shipping? Well, because we're manufacturing, we're making that product and we're shipping it. And our business has exploded so much that we're trying to figure it out. And we are. Within 2 weeks or so, you guys are going to see a really big change. And that's because Tupperware, we're not settling for where we're at. It's unacceptable, but it's two things. It's COVID and having social distancing in a manufacturing plant that was not built for that. And then we have a 300% explosive growth that's come in. And so it's all just part of a new perfect storm, a storm any company would love to have. So you owe it to yourself. What would life be like on your terms? You know, do you ever find yourself thinking, and this may not be you, but do you ever think, really, Lord, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is this my life? Is what Cindy says. We're laughing. You know, you're doing something. You're like, really? Is this it? If you've ever found yourself thinking, is this it? Is this what I was born to be and do and have? I'm going to say Tupperware is going to be an answer for you, because it can give you things that no other job can give you. It can, and I'm not talking about just a new car. I'm not talking about the freedom and flexibility. I'm talking about income that could change the way you live. And money doesn't solve everything, but it sure does make things just a little easier, right? So that is definitely strike while the iron's hot. The iron's hot is what my mother always said. I don't know what that means. I don't know why you'd strike something, but you guys get what they meant, because it's an old saying: strike while the iron is hot. Think about living on your terms, because you can do that. So let's talk about what kind of income comes from managers. So when you leave a consultant, which a consultant, again, you're making 25% of everything that you sell, and then you have bonuses 5 to 10%. That's going to stay no matter what title you are. But when you become a manager, the very first thing is you make 2 more streams of income. The first one is called Profit Plus. And you can screenshot this if you like to remember it. Profit Plus is based on your title. So if you're a manager, you make 2%. A star manager, you make 3%. Executive manager, you make 4%. It's all based on title. Vanguard is a bonus you get as a manager, and Vanguard is based on your volume. Okay, so we have one bonus based on title, the other bonus based on volume. Now, don't get too hung up with, I've never heard of these words. What is a Profit Plus? What is a Vanguard? These are Tupperware words. Okay, so you'll never find them in any other business. These are old-time Tupperware words, but they are 2 bonuses that you get. So let's take a closer look at how that will kind of fit into you making money. The very first thing is when you step up to manager, you get a $100 cash bonus. Like, do you guys ever have secret money? Abby's like, no, because I don't have to hide. Well, wait, you do, Abby. You have to hide it from your family probably, right? But, you know, when you're married, when I started selling Tupperware, I had this thing, like when people paid me with $100 bills, I hid them. I know that's bad. I'm just being honest with you. This is 28 years ago. And I started, because I was selling Tupperware, right? And when people would pay me with $100, I was like, that's hider money. And I would hide it because I wanted to buy stuff. I wanted things for our family and our home, and things that didn't fit into the budget. Imagine, what will you do with that $100 when you step up to manager? That's your money. It's a bonus. It's going to come out of nowhere, right? So enjoy that $100. Now, how do you get paid and how do you step up? First of all, there are 3 things that you need to do to step up to manager in the month of September. Okay, that's what we're talking. The first thing is that you have to have at least 3 personal recruits. 3 personal recruits, and I'm going to help you with that in a second. Like, who do you get? So 3 people you've personally invited to the business. The second thing that you have to have is you have to have at least $500 in sales in the month. Now, I will always add a little tag to that, or rabbit or squirrel or whatever it's called. And that is that if you just sell $500 in a month, you'll never be great in Tupperware. Will you make some money? Yeah. But if you're looking at making big money, you're looking at having a new car or several new cars or trips, you can't sell $500 and count that as big stuff, okay? But that is the standard we have. You have to have a minimum of $500. The third thing is you and your recruits. And then, guys, see this? Look at your screen. See what this 3L, do you know what that stands for? 3 levels deep. You, your recruits, recruits, and your recruits. So 4 levels. You have to have $2,500. Again, 3 things to step up to be manager. You have to have at least $500 in personal sales in the month of September. Second thing, you have to have at least recruited 3 people. not just in this month, but have your 3 recruits. The third thing is $2,500 in unit sales. And a unit is 3 levels deep. You, your recruits, their recruits, and their recruits. 3 levels deep. Is that exciting? Like, did you all of a sudden you're like, wait, it's just not my sales? You mean my recruits, recruits, recruits? That's right. So what do you get when you become a manager? Well, you get that $100 cash bonus, but you know what else you get? Look at the bottom of that screen. You get 2% profit plus. That means you're going to make a 2% bonus on your sales and your unit sales when you are a manager. And you're going to get a Vanguard bonus, and the Vanguard is based on volume. Okay, so Profit Plus is based on title, Vanguard is based on volume. That's what it takes to be a manager. Well, some of you are going to come in this business and you're going to say, oh, I got to have more. I'm a manager today. I want to be a star manager. And that is, do you realize when you become a star manager, you get a $150 cash bonus for becoming a star manager? And when you get a $150 cash bonus the first time you step up, remember that $100 bill I was telling you I was hiding? That's your cash. It comes out of nowhere. It's a bonus. What are you going to buy with it? What are you going to do with it, right? Where are you going to hide it? So what does it take to be a star manager? You need 3 things. You need to have at least $500 in personal sales in the month. If you only have 500, you're not going to be great. Okay, so you always want to be way above that, but that's a minimum. You have to have 6 people you've personally brought into the business. And your unit sales, which are your recruits, their recruits, and their recruits. So see that 3L again? Where's my little cursor? There it is. 3 levels deep, a total of $5,000 in unit sales. Here's what I want to show you. This is a really easy thing, because today it may seem like I'm talking Greek or whatever that saying is, because you're like, how do you remember all this? Take a look at this. To be a manager, it actually doubles. So you go from 3 recruits to be a star manager, 6 recruits. You just doubled. 2,500 in sales, let's double that, 5,000 in sales. This right here is about how many parties it takes. Okay, so it's about 10 $500 parties. Let's move up to executive. So when you become an executive manager, you get a $200 cash bonus. A $200 cash bonus. By the way, look, I'm acting like I'm telling you a secret. I'm like, by the way, but here's what's funny. Some of you will come in and go straight up to star manager, or straight up to exec. Do you know you're never penalized? If you come in and you go straight to star manager, you get the 100 and the 150. All right. So that's pretty exciting. If you go straight to executive, you're going to get the 100, the 150, and the $200 cash bonus. All right. So you're going to get a $200 cash bonus for becoming an executive, and everything kind of doubles from star manager. So you still have to have $500 in personal sales. Remember what I said, you're never going to be great if that's all you sell. You need 9 personal recruits that you personally brought into the business, and you need $7,500. You, your recruits, their recruits, and their recruits, 3 levels deep. So I want to show you this. Look right down here. Your Profit Plus goes up to 4% because that's paid by title. Your Vanguard is paid by volume. So every month, based on your sales, you'll get a Vanguard bonus. So again, let me show you how easy this is. To be a manager, it's 3 recruits. Star manager, 6 recruits. Executive, 9. To be a manager, 2,500 in unit sales. Star managers, 5,000, or double that, 7,500 executive. How many parties does it take about to be a manager? About 5 unit. You, your recruit, their recruits, and their recruits. How many does it take to be a star manager? About 10. How many does it take to be an executive? About 15. So I hope that's helped. If that's ever been a little confusing before, I hope that makes it easy and you go, Oh, I wondered how you always remembered that. It's not because I'm smart, it's just because it's actually pretty easy. 369, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500. All right. So, what does it look like when you're a manager? You know, what kind of income can you make? Well, let's take a look at becoming a manager. I told you you need to have at least 3 personal recruits that you've brought into the business, right? And naturally, what will happen, ladies, is those recruits will start recruiting people. Okay. It's kind of a natural process that happens. Those recruits recruit somebody, and then those recruits recruit somebody. So it actually builds or dominoes for you. So when you're a manager, it's you plus at least your 3 personal recruits that you brought into the business. And to be successful, remember how I kept saying you can't be great if you sell $500 a month? It'll keep your account open, and yes, you can step up, but you really want to focus on at least 2 parties each week. Each week at least 2 parties, and that could be bingos, fundraisers, parties. We'll talk about that. But so $1,000 in sales is basically what we want you to focus on, because that's where you're going to make better money. That income potential as a manager is about $1,500 in a month. You're holding 2 parties a week, and then you have a unit holding 5+ parties. Star manager, it's about $1,700 in a month. That's you still holding your 2 parties a week and your unit doing 10 parties a week. And then executive is about, and it's going to be over $2,000. And that is you're still holding 2 parties a week, bingos, fundraising, whatever we call it, and your unit doing 15 parties a week. So I have a question for you, as I always do. Are you leaving money on the table? Because if you can answer, and you don't say this out loud, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but have you ever sold $1,000 in a month? How about 2,000? If you have, you were leaving money on the table, because remember, you make Profit Plus and Vanguard, those funny little names we give them, on your sales as well. So that's why we say to you, you want to step up to that manager title just so you bonus on your own personal sales. And so if you're selling Tupperware, you don't want to leave money on the table. And that's why, and I'll just be honest with you guys today, the reason I'm doing this step up chat so much in the month of September is we're getting ready to go into October, our biggest month of the sales year. And the biggest month, in fact, probably the biggest month for many of our ladies that they've ever had in Tupperware because of COVID. I guess something good did come from it. Because of COVID, you're going to have a huge record breaker. And I don't want you to leave money on the table. I want you to get that extra Profit Plus and Vanguard. So that's why I'm, what do they say? Crazy or hell-bent or whatever the saying is on making sure you step up. Now you see where I'm sitting here in the studio in front of, we call it the Confidence Start Wall. And the Confidence Start Wall is when you're a new consultant, you guys participated in earning up to $2,500 in gifts. Do you know when you're a new manager, we have a program just like the Confidence Start, but it's for managers. And you have the opportunity to earn all these gifts down here. And it's a 3-month program as a new manager to help build systems to help you grow and be effective. And each month, as you meet the terms and the numbers, you get gifts. So not only in the Confidence Start can you earn the big $1,200 set of cookware, in the Manager Growth Program, you can earn 3 more pieces of cookware that accent that. So you have these 3 pieces of cookware that you see, and what kind of little tie you want, whether you want a scarf or a tie, notebook, a zippered money bag with 6 pens, and a cute little crossbody bag. When you do all 3 of these months, you get all that Ultra Pro, the entire set of Ultra Pro. And all this is free. All this is free. So Confidence Start, new consultants, new manager growth program. And I will also tell you, just for training purposes, when you're a new consultant, you can also be a new manager. You can actually be earning both at the same time. So either for you or as you recruit somebody, you want to get them moved into leadership right away because they can earn more. So this is where I'm going to tell you that you got to take that apostrophe and the T off of stuff. You know, you might be, I'm excited. No, I'm nervous. I can do this. No, I can't. Right now, like the Sybil mindset where you're like, yes, no, I don't know, right? Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's very normal to be excited and nervous all at the same time. I want to take you back to my very second slide, the bungee jumper. This business goes up and down, and it's okay. Okay, nobody comes in and stays on top. Not even Cindy Watford, not even Mel Curry, all right? Never, not even Judy Doherty. You go up and down in this business. But you got to take the apostrophe and the T out of stuff and say, I can do this, because that's very normal for life to happen, especially we as women taking care of our families and volunteering in our other jobs and our church and everything that we do. You can do this business. You absolutely. You are in this business for yourself, but not by yourself. Now, does our business look a little different than what it did when I started? Yes. Does it look a little different than it did in January of 2020? Yes. Today, 99.99% of our parties are done virtually. So what you need is, I'm not even going to say pajamas because literally people would do that, but you need some comfy clothes, right? We're in comfy clothes like this. And I say a computer, but then that dang Mel Curry does everything on a phone. So whatever device you like, I could never submit a party on my phone. I guess it's my age or something. I'm like, there is no way. But you need a device. So either a computer or a phone, some comfy clothes, and you need snacks, because 99.99% of our business right now is done virtually. And the cool thing about your friends and your family and your hosts and your customers, they still want free Tupperware. And it may look different today than it did in February or January, but it's still the same business. We just do our parties very differently. So just as a reminder, for you to step up in the month of September, okay, whether you're going to manager or star manager or executive manager, whatever it is, we have 3 opportunity kits. The first one is our $15 virtual opportunity, right? We know that $15 virtual, people can join and have a virtual catalog, a virtual flyer. They're not investing any money, and well, $15. And the beautiful thing about that, and I think you guys will agree, is people don't have extra money right now. They don't. This pandemic is crazy and it's hurting people. So if we can get money into their checkbook with them only investing $15, it's a good thing. We have the basic kit is $60, and then we also have a deluxe kit. And the deluxe kit you can see is $109. So somebody could just pay $15, $60, or $109. Now, as a brand new consultant, one of the things that I get all the time is, well, Judy, I don't know, I don't really have anybody to recruit. Yes, you do. Your mother, your sister, your best friend. Your mother, your sister, your best friend. Now, if you like start thinking and you go, oh, you know, I don't have a sister, I only have a brother. I'm not talking about the actual mother that birthed you. I'm talking about somebody that you mother, or that mothers you. Okay, you know what I'm talking about in that relationship. They control us or we control them. That mother type friendship that you have. Your sister, you know, to me, and you guys may have a different description of a sister, but my sister and I, we could fight like a cat. And then I'm like, bye, Debbie, love you, see you tomorrow. You know, that sister relationship. And then a best friend. So much fun to come in with a friend. You share questions with each other. You share, you know, the excitement and all of that. And again, let me talk about Cindy Watford. When she joined, yeah, she kicked and screamed a little bit, but I said to her, you know what, Cindy, you need to step up and you need to do it this month because we're going into a big month. And I said to her, Cindy, you need to recruit your mother, your sister, your best friend. And did she give me a little pushback? A little is probably an understatement. Of course she gave me pushback. But guess what she did? She recruited her mom, her sister, her grandmother, and of course her best friend. Her mother, ladies, not only joined her in the business, became a director. Remember how I talked about failing forward? This is so cool. Do you know Monique Carlisle? You guys know her, right? You know who she is. Do you know Monique would not be in Tupperware today? And she's one of our store managers. She would not be in Tupperware today if it wasn't for Cindy recruiting her mother, Belinda. Belinda was at a Starbucks and met Monique and brought her in the business. So when I say bring in your mother, your sister, best friend, they may fail forward too. They may end up loving the business more than you down the road. You never know. But these are the recruits you start with. It's a great experience for you to on how to submit them and the questions they ask and how long it takes to get the kit and how to go through the Confidence Star program. All those things that they are going to ask you, and it'll be comfortable. And you know what? When you become a manager, guess what? That's not the end all be all. That is the start, because there's more in Tupperware, and that is to continue on to become a director. And when you become a director, ladies, it's the most coveted position in Tupperware. Over 1,000 new directors we have since COVID hit. And that when you're a director, you know, you might say, why is that the most coveted position? Because you make more money. You earn cars. You earn trips. There's so much to earn. So I want you guys to write this down. I'm not going to look at it, so you can put it on scratch paper. But I want you to write how much is a car payment for you. All right, so just pick either your car payment, your family's car payment, your husband's car payment. I'm putting in about $500. And how much is your insurance? Again, your number is going to be very different from mine, maybe. I'm putting in $100. When we take and we add those together, the 500 and the 1,000, it's $600, right? Let's times that for a year. I come up with $7,200 for me. Your number may be very different from that, but here's what I want to ask you. What would your family do with an extra $7,200 a month? I mean, a year, excuse me. What would your family do with that? What would you be buying, investing, changing? This is some serious money. And not only with the car is it worth a nice big $7,200 a year, they give you a new one every 2 years. Do you know my Inky Dean? She just celebrated 19 years in Tupperware on July 29th. Do you know she's had 15 new vehicles? Think about how much money she has saved for all that, 4 kids and 2 adults, the 6 people that live in that house, right? Think about that. In fact, I think on the last Stepping Up, I took 7,200 times the 15 years. I mean, look at the number we're talking. A ton of money that it has saved Inky and put towards her family. So why not now? Why is this not the time to step up? The wave is coming in strong. If you're a surfer, you're looking, you're seeing. It's time to get up on that board because the wave is big. The future is so much more in Tupperware. I would encourage you to take, and just when you have time, maybe just take a piece of paper, something like this, or a pillowcase, or whatever your personality is, and write, what's your dream board? What's it look like from your Tupperware business? What are the things that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want for your family? You have to have a dream, and you think big, whatever it is in that dream board. You start small, but you begin right now. And Steinova taught us that, one of our presidents, you know, if becoming a director is you're thinking big, that's where you want to go. You start small, and that is you step up to manager in September. You begin today with parties in your date book. That's how it starts. So I want to thank you guys for coming on and listening. And I would like to, I'm going to stop my recording.